As a kid, I thought I had happened upon something incredible. It was like a moment of wonder for me. I felt like I was an explorer going on this great adventure. I never thought that these crazy experiments in my garage would lead to something. I was shocked to find out that we lose over 25% of our world's entire food supply to spoilage. I'd learned that the world's farmers were harvesting enough food to feed the planet, but we just weren't able to distribute food efficiently enough so that over 800 million people were still going hungry every single day. It all actually started when I was in middle school and I was visiting my grandma in India. My mom warned me to be really careful about drinking the tap water. I accidentally drank almost an entire cup. But my grandma made this mixture of different spices and gave me like this murky brown spiced tea, and I ended up not getting sick. As soon as I got back home, I started to do little experiments in my garage where I was taking some of the spices and adding them to samples of dirty pond water. And then a few weeks later, they looked totally clean. They didn't have anything growing in them. One day I was grocery shopping with my mom, and I noticed that all the strawberries seemed to have some fuzz growing at the bottom. That was when I had that first aha moment where I thought, I wonder what would happen if I dipped berries in my mixture. The results were just unbelievable. And I kept trying different mixtures. I tried to think of different ways to use what I learned. And eventually I put the spices into paper, and I called it fresh paper. That's kind of how this came about. We started with no funding. We had no experience and we had no resources, but at every step of the way, people came forward to help us because they believed in our mission. They believed in the idea that simple can be powerful. That was when we first started to think that maybe we could build a social enterprise where we could sell fresh paper to growers and farmers and retailers and consumers, and that would enable us to give it away to food banks. Even having a 1 or 2 day extension in shelf life can do tremendous things for how many people a food bank is able to feed.
So we would just open up a box here?
That's exactly right. So in a crate of this size, you could just put one on top, maybe one on the side. The spices in fresh paper are naturally antifungal and antibacterial.
Oh.
So much of making a difference is just understanding that, usually you are enough. You have everything that you need to take the first step. Sometimes being an outsider, whether you're the only woman in the room or the youngest person or the least experienced, can be a tremendous advantage because you don't really know all of the ways that things could go wrong and see how you might do it totally differently than anyone else has ever thought of before.